Imagine this. You're hiking through a beautiful, remote wilderness area. The air is crisp, the scenery breathtaking, and you feel a sense of peace and adventure. Suddenly, you find yourself disoriented, lost, and alone. Your gear is limited and the familiar path has vanished. The sun is starting to dip below the horizon. Panic sets in as the light fades and the temperature begins to drop. This is a survival situation. Your mind races with thoughts of what to do next. The first and most important thing is to stay calm. Panicking will only make things worse. Fear can paralyze you and lead to poor decision-making. It's crucial to manage your emotions. Take deep breaths, assess your situation, and prioritize your needs. Think clearly about your next steps. Remember the survival rule of threes. The most urgent needs are shelter, water, and fire, in that order. You can survive 3 hours without shelter in harsh conditions, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. In this scenario, we're focusing on shelter. It's your immediate priority as night approaches. A well-built shelter can protect you from the elements, provide a sense of security, and even boost your morale. It can be the difference between a night of misery and a night of relative comfort. Let's explore the essential tips for building a survival shelter with minimal gear. We'll cover the basics of finding the right location using natural materials and making the most of what you have. Shelter is your primary defense against the elements. It's your refuge from the cold, wind, rain, and even the sun. A good shelter can mean the difference between a comfortable night and a dangerous exposure to hypothermia. Before you even start gathering materials, take a moment to calm yourself. Panic leads to mistakes. Assess your surroundings. What resources are available? What are the immediate threats you need to address? Once you have a clear head, you can begin to formulate a plan. Remember, the simplest shelter is often the best. Don't waste precious energy trying to build something elaborate. Focus on functionality and efficiency. Choosing the right location for your shelter is crucial. Consider these factors. Protection from the elements. Find a spot sheltered from wind, rain, and direct sunlight. Look for natural windbreaks like rock formations, dense vegetation, or a dip in the terrain. Proximity to resources. Being close to water is essential. Also, consider the availability of materials for your shelter and firewood for warmth. Visibility. Make sure your shelter is visible from a distance in case of rescue. However, avoid building on exposed ridgelines or in areas prone to flash floods. Take your time scouting potential locations. A little effort in the beginning can save you a lot of trouble later on. In a survival situation, energy conservation is paramount. Every calorie counts. Use your energy wisely when building your shelter. Work smart, not hard. Don't overexert yourself. Take breaks when needed. Remember, a small, efficient shelter is better than a large, unfinished one. Utilize natural materials. The wilderness is your hardware store. Look for fallen branches, leaves, bark, and even snow for building materials. Improvise and adapt. Get creative with your resources. A trash bag can become a makeshift tarp. A sturdy stick can be a digging tool. Your ingenuity is your greatest asset. Section 5. Small is the new big. When it comes to survival shelters, smaller is better. Here's why. A smaller space traps body heat more effectively, keeping you warmer with less effort. Constructing a smaller shelter requires less time and energy, which is crucial in a survival situation. You'll need less material to build a small, efficient shelter, conserving precious resources. Don't be tempted to build a spacious palace. Focus on creating a snug, warm haven that meets your immediate needs. Section 6. Up and away from the cold ground. The ground sucks away body heat faster than you might think. Insulating yourself from the cold earth is vital for staying warm. Use a thick layer of leaves, pine needles, or even spare clothing to create a barrier between your body and the ground. If possible, build your shelter slightly off the ground. This creates an air pocket that acts as additional insulation. Remember, staying warm is about more than just shelter. Dry clothing and proper layering are equally important. Section 7. Battling the elements. When designing your shelter, consider the specific elements you need protection from. Ensure your shelter has a sloped roof to shed water effectively. Use large leaves or bark shingles to create a waterproof layer. Insulation is key. Pack the shelter walls with leaves, moss, or any other insulating material you can find. Build your shelter with its back to the prevailing wind direction. A windbreak made of branches or piled snow can provide additional protection. While not always a concern, be aware of potential predators in the area. Choose a location away from animal trails and consider building a small fire near your shelter for added security. Section 8. Shelter Solutions, from simple to sturdy. Here are a few simple shelter types you can build with minimal gear. These shelters are essential for survival, providing protection from the elements and helping to maintain body heat. Natural shelters. Look for existing natural shelters like caves, overhangs, or fallen trees with large root systems. These natural formations can save you time and energy, offering immediate refuge. These provide instant protection with minimal effort. They are especially useful in emergency situations where time is of the essence. Lean-to. A classic survival shelter, the lean-to is quick and easy to build. It's a versatile option that can be adapted to various environments. Simply prop a long branch against a tree or rock face, and then lean smaller branches against it at an angle to create a sloping roof. This design helps to shed rain and snow, keeping the interior dry. Cover with leaves, bark, or a tarp for added protection. This additional layer helps to insulate the shelter, keeping you warmer in cold conditions. Debris hut. A debris hut offers excellent insulation. It's a more time-consuming option, but provides superior warmth and protection. Create a frame using branches or sticks and then pile leaves, moss, or other debris on top and around the sides. The thick layer of natural materials acts as an effective barrier against wind and cold. Make the entrance small and face it away from the wind. This minimizes heat loss and keeps the interior more comfortable. Snow cave. In snowy environments, a well-built snow cave can provide surprisingly warm shelter. It's an excellent option when other materials are scarce. Dig a tunnel into a snowdrift and then excavate a larger chamber at the end. The tunnel acts as a cold trap, keeping the main chamber warmer. Ensure adequate ventilation to prevent carbon dioxide buildup. This is crucial for safety, as poor ventilation can lead to dangerous levels of carbon dioxide inside the shelter. Each of these shelters has its own advantages and can be chosen based on the specific conditions you are facing. Whether you are in a forest, a snowy landscape, or a rocky terrain, knowing how to build these shelters can be a lifesaver. Remember, the key to survival is not just having the right gear, but also knowing how to use the resources around you effectively. Practice building these shelters before you need them, so you are prepared for any situation. With these skills, you can transform the wilderness from a daunting challenge into a manageable environment, ensuring your safety and comfort no matter where you find yourself. Section 9. Lessons learned in the wild. Over the years, I've learned countless lessons about survival shelters through first-hand experience. Each lesson has been a stepping stone, shaping my understanding and approach to surviving in the wild. I've built them in scorching deserts, frigid mountains, and dense rainforests. Each of these environments tested my skills and pushed me to adapt in ways I never thought possible. Each environment presented unique challenges, but the fundamental principles remained the same. Understanding the basics of shelter construction is crucial, no matter where you are. One particularly memorable experience involved building a debris hut in the Canadian wilderness during a blizzard. The conditions were harsh, and the stakes were high. The wind howled, the snow piled up, and the temperature plummeted. It was a true test of my endurance and resourcefulness. I worked tirelessly, gathering every scrap of material I could find. Each piece was vital in ensuring my shelter would withstand the brutal conditions. Finally, as darkness fell, my shelter was complete. It was a moment of relief and accomplishment. It wasn't pretty, but it was dry, insulated, and it saved me from the elements that night. The sense of security it provided was invaluable. That experience taught me the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and attention to detail. These qualities are essential for survival in any environment. Even a seemingly insignificant mistake, like a gap in the roof or inadequate insulation, can have serious consequences in a survival situation. Every detail matters when your life is on the line. Sharing these lessons with others is just as important. By passing on this knowledge, we can help ensure that more people are prepared to face the challenges of the wild. Section 10. Practice makes perfect. The best way to prepare for a survival situation is to practice beforehand. Find a safe, controlled environment and try building different types of shelters. Experiment with various materials and techniques. The more you practice, the more confident and skilled you'll become. Remember, knowledge is power. Read books, watch videos, and learn from experienced survivalists. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to handle any challenge the wilderness throws your way. Don't wait for a crisis to happen. Start your survival education today. Section 11. Your survival journey begins now. Building a survival shelter with minimal gear is a skill that can save your life. By staying calm, prioritizing your needs, and using the resources available to you, you can create a safe haven in the wilderness. Remember the tips we've covered? Choose your location wisely, conserve energy, build small and efficient, insulate from the ground, and consider the elements. Most importantly, practice your skills and never stop learning. The wilderness can be a challenging but rewarding place. By embracing the principles of survival, you can face the unexpected with confidence and resilience. Your survival journey begins now.